So I suffered a lot of abandonment issues and things like that.
People who you don't know, you're living with them for 9 months.
Yeah. But eventually my mum rocked up with my stepdad and we ended up leaving with him.
And then you chose to leave the house at what age?
Pretty sure it was around 13. I guess that's why I decided to go to Shalom because, I said to my mum, I need help. Like, I want to do better. I want to become better.
Mm-hmm. Were the initial couple of months comfortable?
It was hard.
What was happening then?
It was really hard. They shave your head and your face. Everyone looks respectable. But one thing I did notice is they want for you, not from you.
Welcome, Luke. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing very well. May I say, thanks for your time today and for sharing your story with us. I'm very blessed and honored in many ways to sit and listen to your journey. And could I ask you, the first question is to start talking about you, who you are, and your background and history.
So, early in life, my real dad left my mum. My mum met a new man who's my stepdad now. I went to live with my real dad and he dumped me when I was a child at the age of 6. So I suffered a lot of abandonment issues and things like that. And I guess growing up in life where, alcohol was so readily available in my house, and all my family members are all drinkers, so I ended up becoming a drinker myself.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I had problems dealing with my emotions as a child and a young teenager, so I ended up turning to alcohol. And eventually, when it didn't work as well, I turned to drugs. I got introduced to drugs, methamphetamines, and I've been in around about 25 years of addiction on and off with meth and alcohol.
Wow. When did what was the age when you were initially introduced, and what were the circumstances?
I don't know. Well, I first started getting drunk when I was around 13. And the first time I got introduced to meth was when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how was the circumstances? What happened there?
Well, at the time I was living on the streets and around a lot of bad people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of addicts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I had nowhere else to go, and a couple of older guys sort of took me in around in their early 20s,
mm-hmm.
and they were all using meth and drinking a lot, so I was sort of surrounded by all that.
Mm-hmm. And you said that your dad dumped you. What do you mean by that when you said that at the age of 6?
Yeah, so my real dad, I guess, he was a bad alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in pubs every day. And
you were a little boy.
Yeah, I guess he couldn't look after me. And my brother was with me as well, but he was too drunk all the time to feed us and stuff. So I remember he actually taught me to jump people's fences to find food for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother. So while he was passed out on his bed, drunk, I'd go out jumping fences to find food. And I guess it just became too hard for him to look after 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
And one night he met some people at a pub, and I guess he, they had some kids, and he'd seen that as an opportunity to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
He probably thought they'd look after us. Yeah. But it ended up being a little bit of a traumatic experience.
So how long did that relationship with your father, living with the dad arrangement, work, or didn't work?
I think I went to live with him when I was around 5, and I turned 6. So I'm probably saying about a year.
Okay.
I probably wasn't with him for that long, but with those other people, I was with him for a while.
How long would that be?
I'd say probably around 9 months to a year.
At the age of 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
With people that I didn't even know.
Yeah. And your brother was with you?
Yeah.
So you both, and how old were your brother? Was your brother?
5.
So you were same age, 1 year's difference.
1 year difference, yeah.
And what happened after that? So how do you remember all of this? I don't remember stories from 5 and 6.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember anything.
I don't know. I guess it's just the trauma sticks with you throughout your life.
Yeah.
I just remember stuff.
And then, so 2 boys and people who you don't know, you're living with them for 9 months.
Yeah.
And then how did you leave, or do you escape, or somebody takes you away?
I can't remember what happened, but eventually my mum rocked up with my stepdad and we ended up leaving with him.
And then you stayed with your mum and stepdad until that to the age of 12, 13?
Yeah. I was in and out of home, running away, going on the streets, coming back. I guess I just had a tough time dealing with their rules. And
you were trying to be rebellious, or were you naturally rebellious, or was it being built up?
I think I probably was already a little rebellious as a young child, but like I grew up in a strict environment, and I guess through this stuff that happened to me in the past and the strictness of my house, I guess I rebelled even more.
And then you chose to leave the house at what age?
Pretty sure it was around 13.
And why?
First time.
Why did you thought you want to leave? That you don't want any more structure anymore? You want to just live your own?
Yeah. I didn't want to sort of, I guess the rules were pretty tough in the house, obey their rules, and I just wanted to have fun, I guess.
What do you mean by fun? When you say fun?
Go out with friends, party, that sort of thing.
And how, at that age, how would you fund that? How would you find resources to fund your needs to either alcohol?
Yeah.
Or drugs?
So I used to have a couple of little jobs out there that I used to do, get money. Yeah.
As in you were doing trade jobs or?
Legit jobs, not...
Okay. Legit jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you had that started with alcohol and then got into a bit more harder drugs.
Yeah.
And how long that the whole stint was?
Around 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
And then can you talk a bit more scenarios and what happened in these 25 years in terms of the high points and the low points?
Yeah. So throughout my life, my life's been like a roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. Like I've been the bottom of the bottom. I've been at the highest of high. I've worked in a lot of different types of jobs and done really well. And quite a few times I'd come off the drugs and stop drinking, but usually takes something to happen that's quite drastic, and then I'd just turn back to the drugs or alcohol to deal with those issues. And the trick that the drugs and alcohol play on you is they make you numb to the pain. They make you feel like you feel better, but actually take away your rational thought process at the same time. Yeah.
And when was the highest moment of this last 25 years, and what was it?
The highest moment. So I've got 2 kids out there as well. Probably them 2 being born. Yep.
A boy and a girl?
A boy and a girl.
And how old are they?
My daughter is 18, turning 19, and my son is 14. Yeah.
Do you have a relationship with them?
Yeah.
Wow. Very fulfilling?
Yeah. They're good kids. They pretty much grew up without me around a lot. Throughout my life, I've been in and out of prison to do with numerous things, violence, all that sort of stuff. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I've hurt a lot of people. I guess that's why I decided to go to Shalom, because I really reached the end of myself, and I knew I needed help, and I couldn't do it by myself.
What do you mean by the word end of myself? When you say the word end of myself, what does that feel like?
You reach, it's like you hit rock bottom. You got nothing, you got no one, you just, and you just come to realise that it was the first time in my life that I really knew that I needed help, and that I really wanted the help. But sometimes you have to hit that rock bottom, really hit rock bottom to really realise that you need that help.
Have you tried finding help before?
Yeah, so I've been to drug and alcohol counselling. I've seen psychiatrists, psychologists. I've tried numerous different things. But they try to deal with just the drugs and alcohol. That's it. And what I realised, like coming to Shalom, was that a lot of it had to do with trauma, childhood trauma, adult trauma. And because I'd never dealt with it properly, I never knew how to deal with it properly, anytime anything would happen, I'd end up in the same spot that I was before, because I couldn't, I had trouble controlling my emotions and dealing with problems when they arose. Yeah.
And then when you realized that you need help, and then you were seeking help, and at Shalom, what was the initial experience like? Because you were in two minds, or you knew that you would have to do this?
I knew I had to do this.
And how did you go through the first couple of conversations?
So when I realised I needed help, I hadn't spoken to my mum for about 8 years, and we just started talking. And I said to my mum, I need help. Like I want to do better. I want to become better. And I want to be there more for my kids and for the rest of my family. And I was sick of hurting people. So my mum mentioned Shalom House to me, and I went to Shalom House in 8th of December 2022. Yeah, so 2.5 years ago. I spent 2 years and 4 months in the program. I graduated in April. Yeah.
And how was the program for you?
It's absolutely changed my life. It's restored all my family relationships. I'm closer to my mum than I ever have been. I've got a relationship with her, and I'm actually mates with my stepdad now, instead of having these feelings of resentment and stuff towards him. I have a relationship with my children, and I've got a really good network of friends now, which is really good. But Shalom House, the thing that they did was, they teach you how to deal with your past trauma, but they give you the tools and that to be able to deal with any future things that may arise.
Were the initial couple of months comfortable?
It was hard.
What was happening then?
It was really hard. When you first come in the program, at the male side, they shave your head and your face. So no one's special in the men's program. You know, everyone's on the same level. There's no right out there haircuts. Everyone looks respectable. But it was just the waking up early, just the full-on regime you got when you first come in that really shocked me. But one thing I did notice is when you first come in, all the fellas, they want for you, not from you. I mean, in past life, if
Say it again?
they want for you, not from you.
Mm-hmm.
In my past life, in my friend circles, if someone did something for you or gave you something, then you owed them. They'd always call you back. But in Shalom, you know, all the fellas in Shalom would give their only T-shirt off their back for you. Yeah.
And during the program, what shifted in you? How has things changed to being that rebellious young boy? How has that shifted?
I guess knowing there's a better way to live, there's a different way to live. I mean, I can honestly say that, you know, this is the happiest I've ever been in my whole entire life. You know, I've been sober for 2.5 years, over 2.5 years, and life's never been better. I've got a great circle of friends, great relationship with my family members.
Wow. And then post-graduation, it was you joined the Shalom House back, or what was your role after that?
So I worked there in Shalom still. I'm employed there, and I do all the IT and manage the offices, office departments.
You were telling me off camera that you used to work with more trades and, you know, hand jobs. Now you're doing an IT kind of a role.
Yeah.
So how does that do things in the same life?
Yeah, well, PLJ had offered me work in the office, and I'd constantly knocked him back. I thought I wouldn't be good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I'm not really good with computers. But eventually I gave in and seen it as a good opportunity to learn new skills. And all the work I've done has been on fishing boats or mechanical or welding, steel fabrication. So it was definitely a lot different to the stuff that I'd done in the past. And doing IT, like I'm pretty good on a computer now. That's a skill that I've learned. Managing the office staff.
It's managing people.
Managing people, yeah.
And an IT.
And doing the IT, yeah.
Wow.
So then I realised that I'm actually quite good at it. Yeah.
Because you have a calming demeanor, so you can, you know, probably that works with people well.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you have a calming demeanor, and you know, you have just a very strong voice, which works from managing people probably. And what are the aspirations now in life? What next? What's the goalpost?
Well, I don't know what the future holds yet, but I know it's going to be a lot better than where I came from.
Indeed.
You know, my future looks great now, like, compared to the past. I have an absolutely awesome support network around me. They all support me and encourage me and yeah, only up from here, I reckon.
And if you have to go through your life, the whole story, and what would you tell that young 5-year-old boy? You know, or because these little boys, you can't. Yeah. What do you think should have been there when you were 5-year-old, sent to your dad's house? What should have happened? What kind of, because you have a support network around you right now.
Yeah.
You know, what keeps you supported, and then you know, what you're doing is because part of that role is a lot of network around you. What do you think would have been there when you were a little 4 or 5-year-old boy around you? So that.
So can you ask the question again?
So when you were 5-year-old and when you left your dad's house,
Yeah.
at the dad's house, what do you think the support network should have been around you to support you not to go down the line which you had gone in your life for the last 25 years?
I think a loving, caring family. I think, having a mum was important to me. And, I guess at the time my mum thought she was doing the right thing. She thought that maybe my dad could pull me into line a little more. But in actual fact, it's probably the worst thing that could have happened. But yeah, definitely a loving, caring family environment would have been better.
I want you to conclude by, holistically describing your journey from then to now. Journey as in the ups and downs. How would you define your life?
So even as a little kid, my life's been like a roller coaster. I've had a lot of downs, probably more downs than ups growing up. But right now I've had a lot more ups and downs. I'm able to better handle situations that I haven't been able to handle in the past. Like passings of family members was the hardest one for me, and that's usually when I'd turn back to the bottle and stuff like that. But I'm able to, process it better now and handle those situations. I just know that I've got a good life ahead of me, and I'm really grateful to Shalom for all the support and everything they've taught me. And yeah, all I can say is, like I said before, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my whole entire life. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Not a problem.